Hi, hello, welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we are going to start our new lesson. So, in the third chapter, we are going to learn about the data representation methods in the computer system. So, as you know, maybe I have told you, or maybe you know, that in a computer system, when you are entering data, these data are not going as we enter them or as we understand it. As we means the human being, right? The computer understands the data which we input into it in its language. We call it as computer language, right? So human language is different when comparing with the computer language. So here there is a dialogue going on between Chanaka and Anjana. Not only Chanaka and Anjana, there are several people here. Chanaka, Anjana, Samira, Janita, and the teacher. So they are going with a conversation about the computer data representation. So here, first of all, they have explained you how the data are represented when we enter them into the computer. So Chanaka is asking Anjana, can you prepare this application using the computer, Anjana? So Anjana says, sure, I'll do it. You read this, let us type it. Application. So when you are writing this, now here Anjana is typing the word application, right? So when typing, you know, we have learned about the input computer devices in the second chapter. So the main input device in the computer is the keyboard, as everybody knows. So we use the keyboard to insert or to input the data into the computer. So now here Anjana is inputting a data or inputting something using the keyboard. Chanaka says, when A on the keyboard is pressed, how does the computer identify it, Anjana? So you should know, that means when you enter each number or when you enter each letter, each symbol into the computer, it is represented differently, or the computer identifies it differently. It doesn't identify as the human understands. So Samira says, okay, let us ask our teacher. Teacher, how is letter A represented in the computer? So the teacher is explaining here, showing the picture. So the picture is the figure 3.1. For an example, okay, just imagine the first step when we enter the data into the computer using a keyboard, when we press the letter A on the keyboard, the first step, right? For an example, when we press the key A in the keyboard, the second step, what happens? The electronic symbol for letter A goes to the system unit through the keyboard. So when here I press or I enter the letter A through the keyboard, it goes to the system unit, right? So why it goes to the system unit? Because all the data are processed there, right, in the system unit. That means it goes to the RAM. You know the structure, right? If you can remember the architecture of the computer system, you can remember it. When we enter something to the computer, it goes to the RAM, it goes to the main memory. After that, the main memory sends it into the main memory sends it to the uh, CPU, the central processing unit, right? Okay. So, so it goes, the electronic symbol for letter A goes to the system unit through the keyboard. Then in step 3, electronic signal of letter A goes to the video memory via RAM. Step 4, A is displayed on the screen after processing. So here, if it is explained easily, I will explain it like this. For an example, when you are entering the letter A to the computer, you press the letter A in the keyboard. Then this letter A is this letter A goes to the system unit, right? So in the system unit, it goes to the RAM, then the RAM sends it to the CPU or whatever, it goes there. So this letter A, okay, it is that means human readable, right? The human can read this letter A. When we see this letter, we know that. But the computer doesn't understand the letter A. So when we enter this letter A into the computer, it goes into the computer. First it goes to the system unit. Then the system unit, what it does, it converts this letter A into the binary language or into the computer language. So normally the computer language is explained or we explain the computer language in binary. We call it as binary language. So binary language, we use two numbers which are 0 and 1. So here so whatever the number, the symbol, the letter, the picture, the video, the audio, whatever, when you enter it into the computer, it doesn't go as we understand. So for an example, if you write your name, right? For an example, we'll say I wrote my name, Sarah. So I enter it into the computer. When I enter it to the computer, totally the name Sarah changes into the binary language or into the computer language, and it goes into the computer, because the computer should understand the data which I entered into it, right? So you will understand it more when we go to the next lessons, right? So here the teacher says, according to the figure above, it is clear for you how letter A is displayed on the screen. So here, when I enter the letter A, it goes to the system unit, it converts into binary language, it understands the input, and then again it converts the inputted data and it shows us, it converts the inputted data into human language and it provides us the letter or whatever we enter into the computer. Now understood? So this is the process of the computer, right? So you should know here that the computer doesn't understand the human language. Normally we talk our languages, right? For an example, we talk in Sinhala, we talk in Tamil, we talk English, right? Whatever the language you know, you talk it. If there are two people who doesn't understand each other, right? For an example, if there is someone who speaks in Sinhala and there is someone who speaks in Tamil, but they don't understand the languages which we are communicating with, so what we do, we bring a translator, right? So normally in the computer there are translators. We will learn it after these subjects, right? After these chapters. So you should know that there are translators who mean there are translators, softwares, right, inside the computer, which translates the human readable forms into computer languages, right? So this is what converts the human readable information into computer understandable language, right? So let's go to the number system. Normally in this chapter we will learn 4 number systems and converting the number systems, right? Converting each number into another number system, and we will learn more about it, right? So when typing letters or words using the computer, these words or letters are represented by the computer as numbers. It can understand. So when we type any letter or words using the computer, whatever, when we type it as we understand, right? or whatever the language we understand. It can be Sinhala, it can be Tamil, whatever the language. So when we enter or when we type letters or word using the computer, these letters or the words are represented by the computer as numbers. It can understand. While this group of numbers that the computer can understand is called a number system. So these numbers which the computer understands, we call it as number system. The limited number of numerals in the number system called digits. The value of these numbers or numerals depends on the position they occupy within the number. While the concept of number system was present in the abacus, considered as the first calculating machine of the world, it has progressed up to the computer of today. So the number system, as I told you here, there are three number systems: binary number system, octal number system, decimal number system, and hexadecimal number system. Binary number system, there is a base value, it is 2. I will show you how to write it, right? It is 2, and here in binary number system we use only two numbers. These are zeros and 1 only, right? Next one, octal number system, the base is 8. Why it is called as octal? Because there are only 8 characters. Why it is called as binary number system? Because there are only 2 characters. These are characters. Decimal number system, everyone knows, right? All, me, you, and everyone knows the decimal number system. Decimal number system, normally we use it in mathematics or whatever the number, when we are reading a number, when we write a number, when we tell a number, when we say a number, we use the decimal number system. From the childhood we are learning the number system of the decimal one. You know the decimal numbers, right? So the decimal numbers are the normal numbers which are used by the people. There are 10 numbers, 0 to 9. Hexadecimal number system, the base value is 16. That is hexadecimal. There are 16 values. There are 16 characters, and these 16 characters starts from 0 to 9. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9. 10, there is no number 10. Instead of number 10, we use here the letter A. It is only in hexadecimal, okay? These characters or these alphabetic characters are only used in the hexadecimal number. So if we represent the number 10 in hexadecimal, that means it is A. If it is 11, B, 12, C, D, E, and F, right? So hope now you have an idea about the number system. So number system, 4 number system, base 2, 8, 10, and 16. Why they are called as binary? Because only 2 characters are used there, 0 and 1. Why it is called as octal? Because there are 8. Why it is decimal? Because there are 10. Why it is hexadecimal? Because there are 16. Computer represents data in 2 signal state. Right? When you represent data in the computer, you represent the data in 2 signal states. They are 1, that means on, or 0, that means off. There are 2 voltage levels for these 2 symbols. One is named as the high voltage level and the other is named as low voltage level. So 0 and 1, they are digits. We call them as digits. 0 and 1 digits respectively represent these low and high voltage levels in a circuit. So normally we use these representation, or we represent these data using the binary numbers. Normally when we use 0 and 1, it is 0 means low level and low level voltage, and 1 means high voltage level. Thus 1 and 0 status are equal to the on and off. 1 means on, 0 means off. States of an electronic circuit. Any data in the world can be represented on the computer using these two digits. According to the figure 3.3 given below, when data stored in secondary storage is sent to the main memory and when it is sent to the central processing unit, from there that data are converted to a binary code. So for an example, this is the disk, this is the drive, right, or hard disk. Okay, let me just drop me a message in my WhatsApp. Okay, I will send you. Metma, sorry, Metma. Okay, Pahan me send me a message, right? Copying data from the secondary memory to main memory. So there are data in the secondary memory. When we save these data and information in the secondary memory, right? In the secondary memory or in the hard disk, when we are saving data, we save it with the binary number system. Maybe I have told you in the second chapter. Maybe I can't remember, right? So these data, when you copy them into the secondary memory, in the primary memory, when you copy the data from the secondary memory to the primary memory, it copies like this. So this is a data, right? This is a kind of data, but we can't understand that. Then the main memory sends these data to the central processing unit from the main memory. This is how data is sent to the central processing unit from the secondary storage. So it goes as it understands as the computer language or in the form of binary language, it sends to the central processing unit. Let us consider the instance between where binary numbers are used for computer colors, right? So there are a lot of colors. For an example, if we take the purple color, there are a lot of kinds of purple colors, right? We can't say that these are purple color. Each and every color, it has a unique name, as well as it has a unique color. It has a unique color combination, right? So for an example, if you go to the paint shop, when you want a paint or when you want a color, a specific color, they give you a book, right? In that book, there are a lot of colors. So it differs. Not all the purple colors are same. So it differs. When they combine the colors, there should be a measurement, right? You know that. With that measurement, they combine the colors and make the final color. Likewise, when we use the colors in the computer, in these colors also there are binary numbers. It differs, not same, right? Now for an example, the binary number of the translation of the capital letter A in the computer and the binary translation of the simple letter A is different, not same. You should understand that, right? Likewise, the colors also, it has a different binary number. These, right? Any color can be made with the combination of different degrees of red, green and blue. We call it as RGB color. RGB colors are these, right? So RGB mean red, green and blue. So there are different combination degrees, right? So if we change this number, the color will change, right? These can be represented as RGB and the value of any color ranges from 0 to 255. It starts, the red color, it starts from 0 until 255. Right? Green also starts from 0. The range of the color of green starts from 0 until 255. Likewise, blue also starts from 0 until 255. So within these degree or within these color ranges, you can use whatever the number to adjust the color you want. Understand this point? If yes, put a yes. So here for an example, if you need to use dark purple for the background of a document, that color can be represented in the computer as 135. That means you should add up 135 from the red color, 31 to the green and 120 to the blue. With these numbers, the color combination for the above color is represented in decimal number. So these are decimal numbers, right? Normally I told you decimal number, we use it. Mostly we use the decimal number. But when you convert this decimal number into binary number, because the computer understands the binary language, right? The binary numbers. So when you convert 135 into binary number, it is 100000111 base 2. That is how we read the binary numbers. Maybe you don't know, right? So normally when we read the decimal numbers, we read it as 135. You know that, right? We read it like that. This is 31. This is 120. But when we read the binary numbers, there are people who read it wrongly. For an example, this number, right? So this one, 11,111. It is wrong. Understood? When we read it, we should read it one by one, like 11111 base 2. This is base 2. Decimal number, the base is 10. We learnt it there in the this chart, right? So the decimal number's base value is 10. Normally, we don't use the base 10. Normally, when you are, for an example, you all this time, right? When you are doing mathematical operations using these numbers, we use decimal numbers, right? Can you tell me anyone, have you ever used this number using the base 10? No. So the base 10 is not necessary. But the base 2, base 16 and the base 8 is a must. You should write the base of them. But the base 10 is not needed, right? And the translation or the conversion of 120, decimal number 120, if you convert it into binary, it is 1111000 base 2. Right? So this is how we represent it. This is how the computer understands the number. It converts. There are translators in the computer, right? There are we will learn about the translators also. So these translators translates the input which we are inputting to the computer into binary language. Understood, everyone? Yes, artificial intelligent computers also uses the binary language. For an example, now artificial intelligent, you know that is a computer, right? For an example, I told you artificial intelligent mean it is not necessary to be a robot or to be like a human being. Means we think if it is an artificial intelligent, it should have a face, eyes and ears, mouth, legs. No, it is not necessary. Artificial intelligence mean, for an example, you know there are some voice recognition artificial intelligence, as I told you. So voice recognition means we can talk with them, right? Now there are systems, you no need to type. You go to the internet, you no need to type. It is pretty easy now. What you have to do is, only you should read whatever the thing you have written in the paper. You read it to the computer. Automatically the computer types it itself in the computer. If you want, I can send you a link. Just go and try. It is not only in Sinhala, in English language. In Sinhala also there. Right? So typing is very easy now. You no need to sit down and type in the computer. You just read it to the computer. It recognizes whatever. It recognizes the sound of us, right? It recognizes the sound and it converts it into binary language, because the computer doesn't understand our language. So it converts into binary language. Then when it gives us the output, again it changes into human readable language and shows us in the outputs. Understood? So there is a huge process is happening inside the computer, but we don't know actually. It does it very quickly. Okay, right. So you know now how the computer understand the input which we are inputting to the computer and how it outputs the inputted data to the human being. Right. Now here we are going to learn about the decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal number system. So this is the main part of the chapter. For an example, today at the first points we learned the number system, right? So here when typing words, letters, numbers and symbols to the computer, they are represented as a number it can understand. Second one, the numbers which the computer understands are called as number system. Numbers and alphabetic characters used in the number system are these as we learn. So these things are learned today. The second one, use of binary numbers in computer representation. So the binary numbers, why we are using, when I say we use, that means the computer uses the binary language. Okay, so the computer represent data in two signal states that are 0 or 1, off or on. It can be also called as low voltage or high voltage, or true or false also. True or false. True means 1, false means 0. Any data in the world can be represented on the computer using these two digits only. Only these two digits. Okay? Right. So now here there are a lot of things. Decimal number system. Each number system is made of a unit, number and base or radix. Unit means unit is a single object. For instance, a mango, a rupee and a day can be considered as a unit. It is one unit. Okay. Number mean a number is a symbol which represents a unit or quantity. If it is a quantity, we use the number, right? Base or radix mean a number of symbols used in a number system is called the base or radix. The base of any number system is indicated in decimal numbers. Right? Right. So as here explained to you, now I am talking about the decimal number system. From our childhood, we have learned to perform calculations using decimal number system, which consists of digits from 0 to 9. You know that, right? We use the numbers 0 to 9. We use them and we make numbers, right? For an example, 13. We use the number 1 and we use the number 3 and we create the number 13. This is how we make the decimal numbers using these 10 numbers only, 0 to 9. Normally the base value of decimal numbers are not mentioned, as I told you. So as you saw there, when they have used the binary number system, they have used the base 2. But when they represented the decimal number, they haven't used the base 10. So as I told you, the decimal number are not mentioned. The value of the base value of the decimal number is not mentioned in the basic decimal number system. But for the other numbers, the base value has to be mentioned. It is a must. If not, the answer will be wrong. Okay? You should understand that, or you should remember. The digits that are used in the decimal number system are as followed. So the base is 10. We can call the base as radix or we call as base. The digit used in the decimal number system 0 till 9. Now you know that. Let us study how a number included in the decimal number system is formed. You know this also. You have learnt it in the small ages. When you were kids, you learned how these decimal numbers are formed, right? For an example, let us consider how the number 25 is formed. Instead of 25, we will consider this number, right? So here in ones there are 7 numbers. So it is 7. In tens, there are 2 numbers. That means this is like the position of 2 is, we call it as 20, right? So here when we read this number, we read it as 27, isn't it? The 6 is positioned in the hundreds. So it is 600. So 627. The 3 is in thousands. 3627, and it goes like that. So the decimal numbers are converted, or the decimal numbers are formed like this. So as it is there in your book, they have explained you the decimal number 25. So 25, if we, okay, so this is the formation of the decimal number 25. For an example, 20 plus 5 is 25. How this 20 is there? The 2's position is 10 and the 5's position is 1. So 5 into 1 means 5. 2 into 10 means 20. Then this 10 to the power 1 is there, right? 10 to the power 1 means what? 10 to the power 1. That we call it as Whitney factor. This is the Whitney factor. So as it is explained here, these positional values such as 10 to the power 0. This is 10 to the power 0. 10 to the power 1. 10 to the power 2 are called Whitney factors of decimal number system. This number can be shown on a counting frame. We call it as abacus. You know the abacus. So here it shows the position of the 5 in the ones, right? So the ones mean 1 mean 10 into 10 to the power 0. So 10 to the power 0 is equal to 1. 10 to the power 1 is equal to 10. That means you should multiply the 10 how many times? 1 time. Here you should multiply the 10 2 times. 2 times mean not 10 into 2. Okay, I will show it to you. 10 to the power 1 means, understand it, okay? 10 to the power means you should multiply this 10 1 time. So when you multiply 10 1 time, it is 10, right? It is 10. 10 to the power 2 means you should multiply 10 2 times. That means 10 into 10. So how much? It is equal to 100. 10 to the power 3 means you should multiply the 10 3 times. 3 tens. 10 into 10 into 10. It is equal to 1000. Now understood how it goes? As I told you here, these numbers are called bits, okay? So this is a bit. This is a bit. There are 8 bits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits. These are bits. Right. Okay. In octal number system, as I told you, there are 8 digits and the base is 8. The digits used are 0 to 7. And when we consider the number 236, base 8. You should read that base also, right? So this is the octal number. if you have the book, okay, check whether here it is written as decimal number. It is a mistake, huh? This should be binary number. If it is wrong, correct it, okay, in your school book. Right. This is an octal number. So the weighting factor of octal number is 8 into the power 0, 8 into the power 1, 8 into the power 2, right? The values such as 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1, 8 to the power 2 are called the weighting factors of the octal number system. This number can be represented as given below in the base 8 counting frame. So this is the counting frame. Here in octal number system, the counting frame goes like 1s, 8s, 64s, 512s, 4096. Right? It goes like that. Hexadecimal number system, the computer uses binary numbers and it is difficult for human being to read them. Hence, the hexadecimal number system is used as it is easier for humans to use. Normally, calculations are performed using the 10 fingers of the hands. You know that. Just imagine you have 16 fingers on your hands. Then you can use 16 numbers to count, isn't it? In the hexadecimal number system, 10 digits are used from 0 to 9, and for the other 6 digits, A, B, C, D, E and F symbols are used. Here, A, B, C, D, E and F are used to represent 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Got it, guys? So this is the decimal numbers 0 to 15. That means 16 characters are there. We are using 0 to 9, and instead of 10, 11, 12 and 14, 15, we are using A to F. So the base of hexadecimal number is 16 and the digit used in hexadecimal numbers are these. There are 16 characters. When F, the largest number of hexadecimal number system, is expressed in binary form, it can be indicated with 4 bits. Thus, instead of using a binary number with 4 bits, a single number in hexadecimal number system can be used. For example, hexadecimal numbers are used to represent memory addresses of the computer. So, for an example, these hexadecimal numbers are, we normally use it in addresses, in the memory addresses, or these codes, okay, the hexadecimal number codes, usually we see it in the color chart. For an example, the code #871F78 related to the dark purple color, shown in figure 3.4. Here, the value of the color is started with hash symbol. Isn't it? See here. The value is starting with the hash symbol. The color value is indicated in the computer in hexadecimal numbers. Thus, the code for dark purple in the above example is #871F78. So, RGB values of this can be indicated from 0 to 255 in decimal numbers if hash or this symbol and H, ampersand, right? This symbol, ampersand, symbol is used in front of the value of any value, whatever the value, if it uses this hash symbol or the ampersand symbol, it is a hexadecimal number. You should understand that. Given below in the table, 3.7 are the hexadecimal values and RGB values of dark purple color. So this is the dark purple colors hexadecimal value, and these are the RGB values, right? So if it is represented like this, you should know that this is a hexadecimal value, right? If it is represented like this, it means it is a decimal value, decimal number. Instance, let us consider 15E16, base 16. So this is the hexadecimal 15E base 16. So the weighting factor RGB means red, green and blue. Red, green, blue. So normally we use them in the color charts, okay? In the color charts we are using RGB. So the weighting of the hexadecimal number, you know, 16 into power 0, 16 to the power 1, 16 to the power 2. Values are called hexadecimal weighting factors. This number can be represented on a 16 base counting frame as below. So this is the counting frame: 1s, 16s, 200, 56, 4096, right? So 1 means 16 to the power 0 is 1. As I told you, whatever the numbers, power 0 is 1, right? Here it changes according to the number. If it is 16 to the power 1, it is 16. 8 to the power 1, it is 8. 2 to the power 1, it is 2. 10 to the power 1, it is 10, right? It depends. Most and least significant positional value of a number. In this heading or in this topic, under this topic, there will be a question in your paper. Most probably they will ask you a question in the most and least significant positional value of a number. What is the most and least significant positional values? Let's go. There are two separate methods to find the most and the least significant values of decimal numbers and whole numbers. When a whole number is read from left to right, the number in the rightmost end is the least significant positional value, and the number in the leftmost end, which is not 0, is the most significant positional value. For an example, in decimal numbers, the value in the right extreme. Okay, let's go here. We will see this one. Most significant digit, we call it as MSD. Least significant value, least significant digit is LSD. MSD, LSD. The meaning of MSD is most significant digit. LSD means least significant digit. So in this table, the most and least significant positional value of a number is given, right? For an example, these are decimal numbers, isn't it? 329. What is the most significant decimal here is 3, because the position of 3 is the biggest one, right? That means the position of 3 is 300. 300 means the biggest number. So it is the most significant digit. What is the least significant digit? The position of 9 is 1s. So that is the least significant digit. The smallest digit here is 9. Got that one? In the second one, 1237.0. So it is a decimal number, right? There is a decimal. Here, the most significant value, the biggest value in this number is 1000, right? 1237.0 means the biggest number here, the position of the biggest number, the number is 1. Because it is positioned in the thousands. The least significant value here is not 0, as it is explained. 0 we don't consider it. We will look at the next one. If it is here 0, we will go to the next one. Okay, the 7 is the least significant decimal. Now let's go to the next decimal digit. Okay, 58.32. The most significant value is 5 because it is 50. The least significant value is here 2 because it is -1 minus, right? It goes as minus. So here it is 0, -1 and -2. So the least significant digit is here 2. Here 0.0975. See, the most significant decimal digit. Why the 0 is not considered as the most significant digit? Because the 0 doesn't have a value. That's why we are not considering the 0 as a digit. It doesn't have a value. So we can't call it as the most or the least, right? So let's go to the next one after the decimal. Again 0. Also we can't consider it as the most significant value. Coming to the next one, the 9 is the most. The biggest number here is the 9. -1, -2, right? The least significant value is 5. Next one, 0.0. Most significant value is 4. Again, least significant digit is 4. So MSD, LSD is for decimal numbers. MSB, LSB is for binary numbers. So MSB mean most significant bit. LSB mean least significant bit. Now let's go to find the most significant MSB and the LSB of the binary number system. Only the binary number system is used to find the most significant bit and the least significant bit. Only in the binary number system. There are two ways to find this using decimal numbers and whole numbers. So two ways are there. In a whole number, read from left to right. Okay. The value in the right extreme is the least significant bit and the value in the left extreme, which is not 0, is the most significant bit. In binary decimal numbers, value in the right extreme of the decimal point, which is not 0, is the least significant bit, and the value in the left extreme of the decimal point, which is not 0, is the most significant bit. So for an example, 1001. Here, the most significant bit, that means the biggest number, is 1. When you write this 1, you should write it like this. 1 means this one is 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3. Because you know in binary number system they use only 1 and zeros, right? So when you say 1, the listener or the reader doesn't know which one you are pointing in this number. So you should tell the value. Understood? That means this one is 2 to the power 3, right? And the least significant bit is this one. It is 2 to the power 0. Got it? 0 we are not considering that. If it is the extreme level, if it is the biggest number here is the 0, we are not going for that. We omit it and we come here, right? So here the most significant bit here is 1. So the value here 2 to the power 1 and the least significant bit is 1 again after the decimal, right? So this is 2 to the power 1 here, sorry, 2 to the power 0. This is 2 to the power 0. This is 2 to the power -1, 2 to the power -2, 2 to the power -3. So the least significant bit is 2 to the power -3. Now you should understand in the MSB and the LSB, normally we are not using the zeros. Okay, it is 1, always 1, because the 1 is the bit which has the value. 0 doesn't have a value. It is off now, so no values. So for an example, in my note I have given to you this one, say will you, or this one 0, 1, 1, 0.101. So the most significant value here is 1. This is the last one. This is the biggest. It should be the biggest one. But because it is 0, it doesn't have a value. So we'll go to the next number. So it is 1. The place of the 1 is 2 to the power 1. Because this is 2 to the power 0. Where you should understand. After the decimal number, it is 2 to the power minus 1. So here the least significant bit is 2 to the power minus 3. You should write like this. I think there will be a question like this in your MCQ now questions. Understood? So when you are finding the MSB and the LSB, it should be found like this. And now you know how to find the MSD and the LSD, right? So there is a homework again here. You should find the MSB and the LSB of the following binary numbers, right? So 2 homeworks are there. Okay. So now I am going to end up the class. Next week we will learn about the converting decimal numbers to binary, octal and hexadecimal numbers. I will wind up the class. Until we will meet again at the next class. Thank you everyone for joining the class today and have a nice day.